Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Square Eye Syndrome podcast. I'm Ben Gilman. As always, I'm joined by Tom Hill.
Hey.
Troy Salmon.
Sir.
And Dan Rudge.
That'd be me.
So how are you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad, man.
Surviving, man. You know how it goes.
Wake me up when 2020 ends.
This guy, that quote. Oh, God.
Are you trying to suggest that we're in overtime of 2020 at the moment or something? Like?
Overtime. They've restarted the match.
Oh, jeez.
It's golden goal forever until the vaccine scores a big goal. Literally, I feel like I know how Dan feels. At this point, I just want someone to score the bloody goal so we can go home.
Yeah, no, it's true enough. It's just his next goal wins, but there's been bricks put up in front of the goals, yeah.
Go on, Ben.
Or like like a tennis match where they've just done the last point. It's like, would one of you just finish the match and stop being so good at tennis? Sorry, there was a Wimbledon final one year when it went on for like 6 hours. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, is it the Dollar Federal final?
Was that the first round where it went to 50?
Oh, there is the match.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the match that went to 49-50 in games in the final set.
Is the Versus Mahou, that 4-day match.
Oh, fucking
yeah!
genius.
That Dan saying it's gone into over. Basically, we're still in 2020 has reminded me of long ass tennis games.
So basically, 2020 is the Mahood is basically what you're saying right now.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Basically, yes.
Advantage 2020. Advantage 2020. Advantage 2020.
Hopefully, it'll be Advantage 2022 soon. Hopefully, we can bring the good feeling of next year forward to this year, and come the end of it, halfway through at least, and get some normal sense back. No, I've been attacked by. I'm going to redo the intros because I feel like that sucked. So, I cannot confirm or deny that the same person in Austin Powers fat bastard is Tom Hill, but Tom Hill.
In my belly.
There we go. That's the bit I'm talking about. There we go.
If you shaved all of his beard off, I cannot confirm or deny if Dan Rudge is Chucky or not.
Chucky.
And I did watch The Invisible Man, but I don't know if Troy was there or not. See, that was what I had planned, and now that's not great. But
hey,
that's cool, man.
Off the dome.
I'm just wondering, like, why Chucky?
I know where the Chucky come from.
I just imagine you have ginger hair.
I don't know.
But that's debatable, Daniel.
That's debatable.
Okay, I have ginger beard.
Yes.
Yeah, I've completely screwed that then.
I have ginger.
It still works,
I
man.
look more like Samwise Gamgee.
Okay, I've noted that. Okay, I'm gonna fix that for next week.
That's a fair point, and he does have incredibly hairy feet as well. So.
Oh damn.
A Hobbit. Okay, Frodo's lover. Dan Rudge.
Frodo's brother, mate.
Frodo's brother. Okay, we'll change that. Okay, we can do that. We'll Photoshop it. It's fine.
Hey, Dan, what's that film with the two gay guys on a mountain?
Oh, jeez.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that other one with the cowboys. No, sir.
I think it's called Return of the King.
I bet it's called The Return of Something.
Let's not.
Yeah, let's not go there, please.
That's also in the ring.
The entire trilogy of films is all about trying to destroy somebody's ring. So let's just.
Yeah. Hey.
They're remaking
McKellen.
Fat Mountain.
We're not talking about Ian McKellen's sexuality at all.
Wow.
Boom.
Ian McKellen is one of the greatest actors of all time. His sexuality.
I know.
Ben is on fire. Ben is on fire right now. I love it.
I know. We love you, Ian. We love you, Ian.
And I'd just like to say that
Fat Mountain, by the way, they're just gender swapping it.
Really?
Oh.
Well, this went left.
That joke.
Go on,
Ben. I will say one more thing before we get on. I happen to be on an Instagram feed with Maki Ito, who
wait, what?
No. She was asking questions of the fans. I just happened. She said, she's like, right, which one of you? Because I didn't realize she swears so much. She was calling all of our fans bastards and stuff, which was quite funny. So people started to insult her, and she just found it was funny. And I just said, you do realize, does Baby Metal know that you've ripped your look off from them? And she loved that one and told me to go F myself. Fuck you. and then somebody went, Kyrie Hojo could kick your ass. I'll stick that anchor up her ass. She knows English quite well. Oscar could kick your ass. And it was just like every Japanese people listen.
Maki Ito is my newest favorite wrestler.
Asuka, man.
Asuka, I love Asuka.
I love
Maki
Asuka. Asuka's the Empress of Tomorrow.
Asuka's the pinnacle. That's what she is.
Maki Ito told me to F off, and it felt glorious, and that's a gimmick. I just thought, you know what, that's really different. And I think a lot of people were popping because she was like, the Baby Metal one was quite hilarious. And she just told me to F off and gave me the finger, and she smiled. It was funny. All right. So,
that's one for your bucket list, man.
That's a weird intro. The intro was a bit bad, but we've recovered it, and I've insulted all three of you as is per custom on this thing. Yes. Right, who wants to go first then?
Well, didn't we agree that you were going to go first this week then?
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm just
you
going
don't have to, man. If you don't want to, don't.
I'll go first. It's fine. Okay. So I've got 3 shows. I've got 10 minutes. Right, let's go. So I bring up 2 old Channel 4 shows. You may not know them. They're from the 90s. Okay, Banzai, which is...
Oh my gosh, Banzai. I love that show.
Would you like to describe what it is? Yeah, Konnichiwa, indeed. What would you guys like to say about Banzai? Because it's a Japanese influence style betting show. They give you a bet, and then you just got to kind of guess how it's going to go. It's just mental. I don't know how to describe this show, but I rewatched it. It's on All 4. It's not aged very well. It's quite racially insensitive. I'm surprised it's still on there. But I am surprised at how long Mr. Shaky Hands Man can shake hands with people.
It's true, actually. Yeah, that was quite clever.
So what's your favourite bit of Banzai like?
Oh, God,
it's so hard because
I don't really truly remember. I just remember the bald guy shouting Banzai or place bets now, but those are the 2.
All I remember about anything to do with this is some comedian, and I can't even remember who they were, talking about how they didn't know enough of the Japanese language to be talking. I think it was Mickey Bartlett talking about how he couldn't actually get Japanese, and he'd been trying to learn it, but he'd only managed to learn the very, very first bits of even knowing that there were words in Japanese, and he had to speak to a Japanese person. And he bullshitted his way into this job and now found himself in this position where he had to know how to speak Japanese to someone in front of their face. I went, Konnichiwa. And then completely lost everything of Japanese. And after about 5 seconds pause, went, Banzai!
That sounds like me talking to my wife's family all the time. Like, I think I know Japanese, but when it comes to the conversation, it just goes away. Yeah, but it's like an old-fashioned one. I mean, it's not great. It's really badly aged.
Yes.
But it's fun and just
the comedy's still there though. Yeah.
And I was of an age when I started to drink on Friday nights with mates, so it's a bit of silly fun for half an hour, isn't it? It's just trying to get ridiculously trying to guess who's right, who's wrong. You know what I mean? And there were some really stupid challenges on there, so that's on there. I also wanted to talk about Eurotrash. Yeah.
The reason it's about 12-year-old boys sat down at night after bedtime to watch TV.
Ben's killing me. He's killing me.
Okay, outside of a horror movie, the first time of tits I've ever saw. So it's how would you describe it? It's like a magazine format show in English. Do you guys know Eurotrash? I mean, Dan has. Dan's got taste.
Bro, you know I know you're a trash man. You know I know you're a trash man.
Tom's gone silent, which makes me wonder if he's
all of those, you know, those TV shows like Eurotrash, 40 in Times, all those ones that were all on that sort of. We're now. There was this point in like the 90s where British TV just went, okay, it's midnight. Fuck it, put whatever on.
Exactly. Whatever the hell you want, bro.
It's midnight. It's Britain. No one's watching TV.
That's basically what it was. That no one's gonna watch it when you're watching at midnight. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them. Put whatever you want on.
So it was presented by Antoni D. Clunes, Jean-Paul Gratier.
Jean-Paul Gratier.
It's basically, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dan. It's just about people from Europe, isn't it, or other parts of the world? Yeah, it's just Europe. It's basically all the weirdest people.
It's stuff going on in Europe, though they featured things that were coming in from other parts of the world, especially if they involve tits
or cocks.
Or basically anything really weird and crazy and possibly could be kinky or sexual or is just fucking disgusting.
We're looking at you, Amsterdam. Jesus Christ, the amount of times Amsterdam appeared on this show is ridiculous.
Literally every episode. Yeah.
I think if I showed it, I'm kind of scared to show it to my wife. We're going to have to show that. I don't know. It's just one of those shows, like, it was curious because I was at the age where it was like a very interesting time to watch that because I was about 10 or 11 when it came on. And it was just like Dan said, so it's literally Britain at a time when Britain would put anything on. And it's just, there's not been another show like it. It started Channel 4's obsession with tits and ass, to be fair. I mean, what is it now? Naked Attraction?
Oh,
you know, it started that type of crazy TV. And it's also on E4. I know I've not done a good job of explaining it, but I have to be kind of careful what we talk about. But it's really, really good, and I think you should go watch.
It's a classic show. I'll say that. It's a classic show. We'll say that.
Maybe Eurotrash more than Banzai, because Eurotrash is just quite funny.
Yeah, I'll say Eurotrash over Banzai, yeah, for sure.
Look at me, I'm being cultured this week. Also, before I go, I watched, I can't believe the day has come that we have to talk about this.
Go on.
So I decided to give a show that I've not given a chance. You know, we've slagged it off a lot. So I watched the pilot of Charmed. Now,
Troy? Rejoice, people. Rejoice.
Hold on.
Oh, he has watched it.
Hold on. So I've watched it. I've watched it just to confirm that I am 100% from the beginning and understand the storyline just to see if I'm missing anything. Okay?
Go ahead.
I can confirm it is absolute bobbins.
Oh my God. The disrespect right now.
No. They look like they've come out of EastEnders, these actors. They just can't.
Okay,
can't
people.
They can't move their. They've got Botox in their mouth. They cannot move and show reactions. Yeah, they can't move their lips. Charms, no. It's not going to work out. So, yeah. I think if I said it was good, then Dan and Tom would have asked me to leave.
Oh, so it's a peer pressure, Ben. Is it peer pressure?
No. I'm just telling you. It confirms what I already know. It's bad.
Okay. Hey, don't worry. I will redeem you guys. Don't worry, Charm fans.
Right. I would recommend you go and get your eyesight seen to.
Wait in time, fans. I'll redeem it. Don't worry about it. I'll redeem this.
Okay, that's me done.
Look, there's no accounting for taste, and not everybody has it.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
So, Troy, we understand your difficulties.
My gosh.
So there's a helpline.
We sympathise, we empathise, and you always have a place here regardless.
That's true. But we are going to ask our great fans to set us up a helpline for Troy, Charmed Anonymous.
Oh my God, Charmed Anonymous.
For people to get a life again, just to give them back on the right track. Anyway, that's me done. So that's good. Right, that is me done.
No, solid picks. Especially
I felt like I've done charity work watching Charmed to help you out. All right, done.
You've glimpsed greatness, but don't worry. In time.
Absolutely flew away from the sun, mate. Trust me. Who's next?
Ben's on fire.
I think it's Troy next.
All right. I am ready for you. Yes. Okay. So, people, I literally just watched it today. So, just to kind of brush up on my Disney knowledge. So, a little clue right there. A little Disney knowledge right there. So,
it's a guy with wings and a guy with a metal arm.
You may be on the right track. It's called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, careful with spoilers because I have not seen it.
Yes. Okay, so I'm careful with spoilers in this one. So
says the guy that always comes on here and just drops his load.
Yeah, exactly. So we ain't gonna do any Ben
all over the place.
Yeah, no more Ben stuff right now. So that we good. We're safe. So as I said before, Disney Plus show Falcon and the Winter Soldier literally just came out. Literally recently, one episode out, and it is so good, so damn good. Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, claps from me, claps from your boy, and most of the fans guaranteed. Go on.
Have they had a staring contest already?
No.
Okay, cool.
So they're separate parts of the world right now, to be honest. They kind of kept them split for the first episode. But it kind of starts off with literally Anthony Mackie is doing a military mission right now for the army, and the flying mechanics, the CG was solid. Obviously, there's a few times it was a bit blurry. Obviously, you're gonna get that from flying scenes. Obviously, because it isn't movie level quality, even though the quality is insanely good. But yeah, so oh my gosh, the plot and the plot as well. Literally, there's like a Baron Zemo plot going on right now, which is heating up, and we ain't even going to go touch the surface of that right now. Plus, we got a little cameo up in here, you know. But I'm not going to spoil that. I'm going to save that because I know Ben hasn't seen it, and probably Dan hasn't, and Tom hasn't seen it. So I'm going to save that little spoiler for the first episode, which was pretty vital to the story, from pushing Anthony Mackie forward. And it's very Captain America heavy. The first episode, pushing the valor, the confidence, and just the complete integrity-based Captain America into Anthony Mackie. He doesn't feel worthy of carrying the shield and all that good stuff. So he's kind of pushing that for the first episode, and the kind of PTSD type of personality Bucky Barnes is going through right now, because of all the murders he's done in his life. So he's kind of recovering. Say again?
The brainwashing.
Yeah, the brainwashing. That literally just kind of recovering, even though he said he had a bit of peace in Wakanda, but it was kind of just like, even then it was war to war for the full 90 years that he's like been fighting. So he's kind of like I don't want to say no more. But he's been Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan is such an underrated actor, to be honest. Everyone goes Anthony Mackie. Yeah. Sebastian Stan, really underrated.
Yeah.
You agree, Dan? Yeah, you agree.
100%, Troy. Absolutely 100%. You may have your flaws, but even a stop clock.
My flaws, like this guy, how dare you? But he is right. Sebastian Stan, very underrated actor. The stuff that I've seen him in, he's so good. And this show kind of encapsulates of how good this man is. He can play sad, he can play happy, he can play ticked off. He can literally go from emotion to emotion in this show. And Andy Mackie's improved as well.
I think 6 episodes is going to be better for it than 9 with WandaVision. Cutting it down to 6 means it's going to be meatier and a lot later. The one thing I had with WandaVision was it was too long. You could have done that in 6 episodes. So I think this is going to be better.
Yeah, all it is to me, in my eyes, in the first episode, literally, they're going so many places. Like, literally, Anthony Mackie trying to help his family out. It kind of talks about, like, the blip, the snap. What happened in between those times kind of basically talks about that a little bit as well throughout the episode. What's happened to people, how people recovered, the economy's down, stuff like that. So it kind of touched on stuff like which I really liked, because I thought it was going to go straight into action scene, straight into a storyline, straight into a plot, and it doesn't really explain any of it, and it really does. So I kind of like that, and they kind of play on Captain America at the end of the episode, little cliffhanger spoiler. So I ain't gonna talk about that. So and we got a little MMA action as well in here. George St. Pierre, GSP from UFC history.
Oh, he's back, is he?
GSP, he's up in the
Truck.
show. He's up in the show. He's up in the show. So you see a little
So
stuff.
last time we saw GSP in a Marvel movie, it was Captain America Captain America.
he
the
was,
first Avenger?
he was, wasn't he?
Okay,
Yeah.
does that mean
Oh
he's
my days.
Bonesaw? Bonesaw, Crossbones? Wasn't he Crossbones?
No, he's
No.
Letroc. Letroc
Yeah.
is a French mercenary in the comics.
Yes.
He only turns up
Ah.
for a fight scene, basically, in Captain America: The First Avenger. Where he's sort of I'm not the bad guy, but I'm not just your regular garden thug, and I know how to
Exactly.
fight. And
Yeah.
Oh, I remember him. Thank you for correcting me on that, Dan.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I don't know why it's a Crossbones. It must be someone else.
No. But he did GSP. I mean, I was looking at him closely. I was like, wait, is that GSP? I was like, he's back.
yeah.
And I was like, damn. But yeah, he's has a little scene in the episode right now, which is pretty good, solid act. You know, remind you of the Dark Knight Rises, the way it started. So that's what it was, pretty good. But yeah, overall, this episode, my goodness, it was so good. I want to see more and more and more of this show. Trust me, if you haven't seen it already, go watch it. Watch it for your boy. Disney Plus.
All right.
All right. Okay, so that's my first pick, and I'm just gonna end it with just a quick update on Your Honor, the show. One with my boy, Mr. Walter White himself. So yeah, so we're gonna end it right there. So Your Honor. So literally, as I said before, he's a lawyer. Well, not a lawyer, a judge. And he's getting threatened by the mob, the Baxter family, as I said before. And his son, obviously, he ran over, as a little quick recap, he ran over a mob boss's son, as I said before. And literally, the way this show ends, bro, I was like, I'm gonna lie, it's kind of disappointed, bro. I was disappointed. I'm gonna lie. I was like, really? It could have went so many places. It was so good up until that final episode. And that's the thing that kind of annoyed the heck out of me a little bit. And I hate when shows do that. They're so good up until that final episode. And that's the thing you remember the most as well about the show. And I was like, it's a good ending. Don't get me wrong. But the way it could have ended, like, with literally just the Zaya gang could have literally just lit up the place. I wanted to have like a spectacular ending. But it kind of just went with a whimper, if you know what I mean, in the show. And I was like, Your Honor, it's such, because if you don't get me wrong, it's a great show to watch. It's a very insular, very tense thriller type show. You know what I'm saying? Got a few action set pieces in there, a few explosions, but it's really solid script. The script is amazing. So, and if you know, it's gonna be a great show when you got my boy up in here, yo, my boy Bryan Cranston writing and helping produce the show. You know it's gonna be good. But overall, the way it ended, because I don't want to give any spoilers away, because I know you have to watch the show because it's a really good show up to this point. But Your Honor, that ended so well. Well, could have went better, but it ended a good ending. But yeah, that's just my little update. I don't want to say too much about it.
Man, I haven't even watched Breaking Bad yet.
Breaking Bad. Hey, Breaking Bad, yo. Oh my days, Breaking Bad.
I thought you said Breaking Babe for a second.
Your Honor. That's
Whoa.
The latest show that he's done right now. It's called Your Honor.
Troy, have you got round to watching Better Call Saul yet?
Oh my days, no, I haven't.
I'm sorry. Did I just mishear that, or did Ben say Breaking Babe? Because I just got a crossover in my head that was great.
Breaking Bad.
Let's break the back of the pig so we can have bacon. Crack. Oh, it's a really nasty show on how domestic violence for women is not okay.
Talking pig sells meth.
But yeah,
it's either that or it's women getting hit, and that's. I think the pig's much funnier. At least it's a lot less darker.
Oh damn! But yeah, Sky Atlantic watch the show. You know, what's this show going? But yeah, Your Honor, good show. Bryan Cranston, great lead in this show. But yeah, everyone go watch it, man. It's a great show, regardless of what I said about the end. Because I have high, lofty goals in my shows, to be honest. Especially if it's really good and you want it to end right. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it to be like a Sopranos type thing or Game of Thrones type situation. You don't want that situation. You don't want it. Ain't nobody want that, you know? But obviously, it ain't nowhere near that kind of bad. Nowhere near that, no. But it's a great show, Your Honor. Check it out. So we've got Falcon and Winter Soldier and Your Honor. That's my little pick right there. That's my 2 picks, my shows. Okay, so who is next?
You do realise you're going to be doing that every time you finish your bit. It's like a little bit outro, yeah?
It's Tom next, is it?
Wait a minute. You guys probably noticed I disappeared for a couple of minutes. I had a power cut. I do apologise.
Oh, damn.
So I lost everything for about 5 minutes.
You're quite quiet anyway.
Do you want me to take
I
that?
know, but I just wanted to apologise. So I didn't actually hear, other than you picking Banzai, Ben, what else you actually said. So I do apologise.
See, we need to quickly recap. I said Eurotrash.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, like,
Classic.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, obviously, because Troy is obvious.
Yeah, I know.
There's a guy who brought WandaVision and report on it every week. And Your Honor.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Your Honor, just a quick recap.
I heard Troy talking about Your Honor, and I caught the back end of Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Yeah, great show.
Definitely Eurotrash. Pretty
So
good show.
you said you had 3 shows. So did
Yeah, I
you?
talked about.
Oh yeah, he picked. No, Tom, listen. He picked the
What did he
greatest
do?
show of all time. He picked
I
it.
dumped it. I dumped on Charmed.
You
I
picked
watched
a
the
Charmed
pilot.
episode.
There
My
we
God,
go.
what's
Pick
wrong
Charmed.
with you?
There we go.
Yeah, I dumped on it though. I took a big old. We set up a helpline for Troy, Charm Anonymous.
Apparently, I've got a helpline. Apparently, but
The fans
deep
were
down,
helping.
Ben wanted to pick it. You loved it, really. Don't worry about it, Tom. You loved it.
You ring the phone line and you get shouted at and called a twat and just told to go sort your life out and they put the phone down on you. All right,
Oh,
Tom, take it away. Sorry.
Okay. Right. So I've got a couple of picks this week. The first one was about, like Ben, I've got a little bit retro.
Ooh.
And I've gone back to a show that I don't know if you guys know. I know that Dan knows a little bit about this because I spoke to him about it yesterday. It's a TV show from Channel 5 called The Mole. Does anybody remember this?
I love this
not the
show.
Mole.
You can
Oh,
find it on
yes.
Channel 5.
Thank you. These are my
oh,
Oh, it's
Yes.
a great show, and I know Series 1's Mole. I wanted to punch him because I trusted him.
I loved it. See,
Oh, it's so good.
do all you guys? So all you guys know this show, so I can talk
Yes.
about it by name.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was after WCW on Friday nights. Yeah.
David was fucking brilliant as the mole. He
He
was
was.
so good. I mean,
You
but for
better
those of you
explain
who
the show first, though.
Yeah, but basically the premise of the show, all the people who are on it, it's incorrectly classed as a reality TV show because it was what reality TV was before Big Brother came along. It was a show but it was a game show. These people knew they were going on an adventure show. They didn't know they were going on a show where they were looking for a traitor. I think that they were told that they were going on a show called Adventure Challenge or something. I can't remember, but they knew that they'd be competing for money and working in teams and shit like that.
Mm.
So they only found out about the fact that they were chasing the mole on day 1 of the filming, which is cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So basically, the premise is you've got 10 people, and apparently all of them have applied to be on a game show. Only 9 of them have because one of them was picked by the producers, which is a guy who turns out to be the mole. And the whole point is that they get given a whole load of challenges. They have to work as a team to build up the money, which is fine. But one of them is a saboteur, is trying to cost them the money at every turn whilst not being caught.
Yeah.
Really simple premise. And it's lots of really interesting things. I mean, I love the way that the guy in the second series was not as good, but it was still good. I'll get to it. But in the first series, the guy who played the mole did shitloads of things that nobody even clocked. It was beautiful. And at the same time, was often one of the most vocal people at getting things right.
Yeah.
So often he did brilliantly in a challenge, but then sabotaged everybody else. So it looked like he was above suspicion.
That's the thing. When he
So
did
good.
it, I was heartbroken. Because he was the guy I thought it wasn't, you know?
See, I was really lucky. I actually latched onto him as the mole from the first. I didn't see it. Episode 3 was the first episode I saw. which is the one where that guy Paul said at dinner he thought he knew who the mole was, and then got voted out like a couple of hours later. But he said that he thought it was David, which meant that on my very first episode, I went, "Oh, so who's this David guy?" and started watching him really closely. Really liked him, but because just by pure chance that I picked it up at that moment, I was watching David the whole time. So I kind of went, yeah, really, it could be him. It really, really easily could be. Also, I recognised that the T-shirt he was wearing had William of Orange on it. You know that T-shirt he wore for like the second half of the series?
Oh, yes.
Had William of Orange on it, who famously was killed when he fell off his horse after it went over a molehill. But yeah, that was just a random little bit.
That's quite dangerous for him to wear that shirt.
Well, obviously he had like pink colouring over the top of it, so it wasn't obviously William III. But if you know the portrait, I think I'd probably seen it in the National Portrait Gallery. You could clock it, and also
you would run up to him and go, "Mole, mole," wouldn't you? The first episode, Tom solves it. Mole.
I didn't get it in the first episode, and to be honest, even up until the final episode, I was like, I think it's him, but I'm really not sure. He was that good, and he was the most likable person in the whole damn show. And just so good. And I loved the fact that they did that episode at the end where they showed you all the sabotages. They showed you the things that went right, the things that went wrong, and all that kind of stuff. And I just absolutely loved it. It was beautiful stuff. And everyone getting voted on. Things like him showing up to one of the eliminations wearing his slippers because he knew he wasn't getting evicted. Shit like that. When everybody else was like massively tense because anyone could go. And he shows up in his bedroom slippers and it's like... Also, he showed up with his suitcase, but actually nothing in it. So if anybody had opened his suitcase, they'd have known that he hadn't bothered to pack. Shit like that. I love things like that because he was just taking a chance on being a bit of a dick, basically. But I loved that. So the whole point in the first series, and it was fantastic, was that the mole was very in the background. Would do things occasionally to be successful, but wasn't kind of throwing themselves into the foreground. Series 2, they went the opposite way. The beauty of season 2, if you remember it, was that all of the people, apart from the one, including the one who was the mole, had been massive fans of season 1.
Okay.
And so it meant that like one of the people, whenever they went to bed at night, took out a whole load of like flour or talcum powder and put it outside everybody's bedroom. So if anybody snuck out during the night to meet the producers, they'd catch them and shit like that. So the way they got round that, and once again, I said this to Dan, I clocked who the mole was quite quickly in season 2 because of the way they got round that problem.
Yeah.
Because I remember sitting there on the very first episode and I didn't like this person because they were sitting on their iPod not an iPod, it was an MP3 player. But they were sitting listening to their MP3. Whenever they weren't doing a challenge, they were sitting listening to their MP3 player. And I thought, you antisocial git. And then I thought to myself, actually, you know what? They've made it clear that everybody on the show is a fan of the old show.
Yeah.
If I wanted to talk to the producer without getting in trouble, no one's going to question you listening to something on your headphones.
No.
And I went, that's how they're doing it. It's her. It's got to be her. And so literally then from like episode 1, I was sitting there going, yeah, definitely. It's got to be them. Because I couldn't see any other way that they could do the kind of like the meetings, because you knew that people were putting tripwires out and shit like that to stop people getting out. So I got lucky. I didn't enjoy the second series as much, but I did still enjoy it. And I was saying this to Dan yesterday. I can't believe they only did 2 series. It was such a good show.
That was insane. Just
how to take a show on Channel 5, like a similar show, Fort Boyard, that goes for forever, and the mole gets 2 seasons. It's not right.
No, Fort Boyard was still a good show.
Yeah. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's a shame that the mole couldn't have had a same amount of big run. You know what I mean?
The problem is that the mole suffered from a major problem that still exists today, in that it was on Channel 5. And I don't mean that as a knock to Channel. Channel 5 actually does some good stuff, but it's got a real stigma to it that people think it's softcore porn and shitty TV shows. So lots of people don't go and watch it. I didn't watch the first 2 episodes of The Mole series 1 because it was on Channel 5, and it was only my mates at school going, "Oh, Tom, you'd love this show," and bringing in videos where they'd recorded it on their VHSs and bringing it into class.
Classics.
Yeah, but bringing it into school, because by that point I was in 6th form, so I used to have shitloads of downtime, and we had a TV in the common room, so we used to bring videos in, and like the occasional DVD, but mainly it was still VHS.
Yeah.
But people had recorded The Mole like from the night before, and so we were all sitting around watching it on TV in school. But I wasn't watching it because it was on Channel 5. It's only after I watched it and went, "Oh, this is great," that I started watching it. I genuinely believe, because the show is still going in America and Australia.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly believe if you could get the rights to it and put it on either ITV or Channel 4, you'd get massive viewership for that show.
Yeah, that'd be big, especially nowadays. That'd be big.
Yeah, because remember I said ages and ages ago about Hunted.
Yeah.
This would be in the same vein as Hunted.
It's all on YouTube.
Also,
and we watch it afterwards.
Also, I was thinking about this since you spoke to me about it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same vein as something which is so popular right now, because it's not a reality show. It's a social deduction show.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why I love it so much. The television show.
Is what?
It's Among Us, the television show.
Yeah, basically was the original.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is my main pick for today, is The Mole. It is one of the best things. Season 1 especially is fucking brilliant.
Gold.
So good. So brilliant. Like I said, I spoke with Dan about this yesterday, and I've got all of the episodes. I managed to copy them from YouTube ages ago, like years ago, and I actually shared them with Dan, just for the hell of it. Because obviously, all of the episodes are available on YouTube, so you can get them.
Oh, man, the
but
memories, man.
It is such a good show. I'm so glad the rest of you know this show and like it. It was so fucking good.
Hey, it's such a good show.
Okay.
Right.
So my second pick, and this is one of those weird coincidences, Ben. I picked a charmless.
Oh no!
You what? Wait! What? You what?
I decided that it was time to watch an episode of Charmed.
You can't make me sit through 2 Charmed reviews in one sit.
Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, I can.
Go on, Dan. Let's go, Tom and Ben.
What have I done to deserve this?
Hey, Dan, I'm in heaven right now. I'm in heaven. Let's go.
I went on to a fan thing, and I looked at what are the most popular episodes of Charmed.
Ooh.
And I didn't pick the number 1 episode, which I think for obviously reasons was the last episode. I think everybody loved it because it was the last episode.
Oh, here we go.
But
it ended, thank God. Yeah.
Yes, I picked an episode from season 3, episode 4, All Halliwell's Eve.
Ooh,
and it was not, unfortunately, the crossover with the Spice Girls that I'd hoped it was from the title. It was about it was about the charmed ones getting pulled back in time to the year 1670 to help save a baby. Right. I'm going to do this as quickly as possible. I'm going to give it a Bill's quick capsule review. Anyone who knows Bill Hicks will understand me. Piece of shit.
Wow, the disrespect.
This is the second best episode of this show as voted by Charmed fans. I would not choose that episode to you, Tom. I wouldn't choose that episode to you. I would not sitting through it.
I can give you a better episode though, but afterwards.
This was I chose one of the best episodes.
Wow, that's not one of the best.
Give it the best chance possible.
What are they doing over there?
It was fucking abysmal. My God. I've always said that Charmed is shit, and thank God one of the best episodes to back up the fact that I would rather crawl across broken glass with my flies unzipped than ever watch another episode.
You know what? I'm gonna have to restore some glory back to this show. I have to restore some glory. You know
what I have to say about Charmed, I am leaving it there.
What a coincidence. Right, anyway.
God.
Fucking okay. I'm fucking shocked.
Look at Dan.
Dan, would you like to help us recover if we haven't already blown your mind? We do apologize.
Here's the thing. My section of this podcast this week is going to be called "Why You Shouldn't Make This TV Show."
Okay.
Because I've
Okay.
been going on and on about a TV show for a long while.
Oh, I know where you're going already.
Oh no! Oh, here we
and
go.
I
Oh no!
fucking bit the bullet on it.
Go on, Dan.
I have watched the entire first series of The Watch.
Oh, okay.
I have done this for you, our
Okay.
audience. I have put myself through these 7 circles of hell over 8 episodes in order to tell you exactly where it's coming from, what it's like, what is bad about it, and what is good about it.
Oh, Dan. Charmed in this.
So, if this show was a show that was built around Richard Dormer and what's her name?
I forgot her name now. Freak.
What's the name of her? Lara Rossi.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
If this was built around them and they were the same acted character with different names, then the rest of it would all basically, like, if they didn't take it from Discworld and it was just a fantasy police procedural thing, then it would fall somewhere between like the Misfits
Right.
TV show,
Oh snap!
Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
What?
and
Wow.
Hey,
hang on,
Brooklyn
hang on,
Nine-Nine is
because
a
I'm
quality
not
show.
done. I'm not done.
It's speaking, it's
Just
speaking.
don't wig out just because it says it.
Speaking.
Don't wig out because I know Brooklyn Nine-Nine's a good show. Misfits, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and a Final Fantasy game. Like Final Fantasy VII's Midgar is basically what Ankh-Morpork looks like. It doesn't look like Ankh-Morpork. It looks a lot more techy. I'll get to it. But if you were to have it sort of somewhere in that level, it might actually be a passable television show. There are only 3 things about this show, 4 at a stretch, that are any good at all. One of them is Richard Dorner himself.
Right.
His portrayal of the character he's portraying, which isn't the Sam Vimes from the books, but isn't as far off as some of the rest of them. Like, it's almost like Sam Vimes got caricatured with Popeye. But Richard Dormer makes it work.
Okay.
You like him. He's a good character.
Yeah.
Lara Rossi as Lady Sybil is nothing like the character. And anyone who loves the character from the books as much as I do will hate the fact that she's portraying Lady Sybil this way. But at the same time, the character in and of itself, on its own, has almost nothing to do with Lady Sybil. And as its own character, Lara is fucking brilliant at it. They are some fantastic actors and actresses. And in anything else they're in, watch them. Watch them all the fucking time. Celebrate them. They're amazing.
Everything else.
They're the best thing about this hunk of shit, and they almost managed to be diamonds. There's only one character, one person who on screen is even more popping and vibrant and great as them, and they are given more of a chance to be so in the writing. Yeah. But my God, do they make the best of it. And that's Joe Eaton Kent, who's playing Cheery. Who shines in absolutely everything that they do. The character they're playing, yet again, there's too much of a takeaway from what the original character is for my liking. But with this one, I can kind of see where it's coming from, because the original Cheery comes from a culture of dwarves where everyone has a beard, everyone wears a beard, everyone is referred to as he and him. There is no gender identity at all. And in the books, Cheery becomes Sherry by saying, actually, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm my own woman because I am a woman. Whereas in the TV version of this, there's kind of some of this stuff is put around, but at the same time, it's not. And the thing that Cheery is doing to rebel is by not conforming to a gender identity, by instead asking questions and being someone who's representing the trans community within this show. And it's really well done for what it is. If it wasn't being taken from Cheery Littlebottom from the actual books, then it would be fantastic in that character portrayal. Really good character portrayal of what it is. No one else really shines. I'm sorry. If you like any of the other actors and actresses in it, if you like Adam Hugill or Marama Corlett, if you like Sadam Adewumni, or any of them, really, they're not inspired in any way, shape, or form. Everything is sort of a watered down 2D, focused more on very manufacturedly seeming clever than being characters of any depth or substance.
Okay.
Maybe Bianca Simone Manny, Lupine Once is who they play. That might be okay. And Ingrid Oliver as Dr. Cruz is kind of maybe okay. The other good thing about this TV show is the effects.
Oh, they're good. They're good, yeah.
Whenever you're getting into something which is obviously using some kind of CGI, it's either incredibly fantastical and given its own stage to shine, or it's entirely seamless. Whenever they're not using CGI, it's hackneyed and it's ridiculous, and you really have to look past it. For the first 2 episodes, they have a character called Sergeant Detritus, who is a troll, who you'll have seen the posters, you may have seen some of the trailers. Yeah. It's a dude in a rubber suit, and it looks like a dude in a rubber suit.
I thought it sounded like a rubber.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was about to say rubber dick, but I'm glad you went with rubber suit. Cool.
Okay. But it's terrible. It's horrid. There is a story. The story is an artifact hunt. It's a MacGuffin hunt. It's the most basic, lazy storytelling you can think of. And the whole thing it feels so... There's a line, and I read this somewhere from one of the reviews, but there's a line where Samuel Adewuni, he talks to Once, his accomplice at that point. Just sort of temporarily. He says, "The history of this world has already been written. There's no place for us here." And it's like, you could apply that to the whole TV show. If you want to take these stories, if you want to look at the stories for Sam Vimes, if you want to have a good story about the Watch and the Discworld, go and get the audiobooks. Go get the audiobooks, listen to them. They will give you better images than this TV show has. They will give you a better story. They will give you more rounded out everything than this TV show has. Just pick a book. Any of Terry Pratchett's books is 3,000 times better than this. Any of the other adaptations that I have seen of Terry Pratchett of any level of story is at least 300 times better than this. I've watched every single episode. I can tell you that whenever I first realized what the threat was going to be, I knew how it was going to end. There was no mystery. There was no anything. The only mystery was, how badly are they going to fuck up the story with a bunch of musical set pieces instead of plot? Don't get me wrong, the musical set pieces on their own, they're wonderful musical set pieces, but they destroy everything about the narrative. They destroy everything about the tension. Everything gets thrown out the window. It's not worth your time.
So you're not going to rebuild the wall. You're going to continue to demolish it with a sledgehammer still.
It is not worth your time. It was not worth my time for anything other than to be able to tell the audience this. There is nothing redeeming about the story. There is nothing redeeming about the pacing. There is nothing redeeming about how they do jump cuts. There is nothing about it other than individual performances and the CGI. Whoever is in charge of the CGI, well done. You need more work, because it was better acting through computer graphics than most of the actors were managing themselves.
Got you.
So that's my first section of why people shouldn't make certain TV shows. And the other one is this. I watched the TV show, and it was described as being the absolute best example of this TV show that I could possibly watch. It was the most applauded and lauded episode of, I think it was like 8 or 9 seasons. And everyone raves about it as being just the thing which defines this series. And it's the very last episode of Charmed.
See, it's almost like...
Oh my god, you guys watching the worst episode. It's like you're purposely doing this on purpose to. Oh my god.
And it's an
What you're
episode
talking
called
about, Troy.
It's an episode called Forever Charmed. And the premise of the episode is that the charmed ones are mostly dead. They've had this massive climactic battle happen that's apparently happened in the episode before. I didn't bother going back and watching it.
Why would you?
2 of the 3 sisters are dead. Although later on in the episode, I actually understand that 3 of the 4 sisters are dead, but one of them isn't coming back, but the other 2 might be able to. And the entire episode is all this sort of, we've left everything in the last episode so absolutely terrible that we now have to use all of our runtime to be able to start off with wrapping this up as quickly as possible, so we can then have a bunch of meet cutes and a bunch of coupling offs and things like this.
Yeah.
And it's even the characters, like, they're even conversing with each other, and the way they seem to be conversing with each other is like, okay, well, that's a really traumatic revelation, but we've only got 20 minutes of the show left, so let's leave it there. And like, there's one person in the entire episode who seems to undergo any kind of emotional growth or character or anything, and that's I can't even remember her name, but she's played by Kaylee Cuoco. The 8 Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, Big Bang Theory.
Her. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Leonard's.
Who displays any
Her
level
character was kind of
emotional depth throughout the entire episode. One of them is having the love of their life, who they've realized is the love of their life, taken away, and they just sort of go, well, logically, if I do things right, then he's coming back. Oh, well.
Her character was terrible throughout the entire season, though, I gotta admit. Her character was terrible.
Like,
And yet she's the only positive thing that
Oh, come on, no, she isn't. No, she isn't.
in that last episode, all of the rest of them are like, oh, well, it's going to turn out all right in the end. Or else they're the ones who are just, they're designed to get the comeuppance, and therefore we're not learning anything because we want to do evil thing. And all the good people are going, all the chances in the world to be good. Come on, be good. Come on and be good. Oh, well, I guess you made your choice. And then the end of it, they all sort of gather around in a living room, and all of the different like generations. Some of them are dead, some of them displaced out of different times. And like suddenly there's like 2 or 3 people who are the same person in the same room, but they've come from different times. And then suddenly they just merge together. Oh, look, the timelines have realigned. Oh, that's what happened. Ghost people went into other people, and that's how it works. Fine, cool.
There is one positive thing you can say, Dan.
Go on, Tom.
The women are hot.
There is one truly positive thing you can say about this episode.
It's the end of fucking.
It's the last one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Literally, it seemed like the whole cast was racing towards it.
Can you blame them?
No.
It's a shame that they did bring that plot line forward to the pilot so we could have been spared 9 years of misery. Says I.
Oh my gosh.
Troy, you asked us all to give Charmed a chance. We have all given Charmed a chance and stand by our previous.
Just okay. You dipped your toe.
Pros and cons as I watched it. I then watched it one more time just to make sure.
I mean, if you had turned up on the original
episode is Kaylee Cuoco.
I mean, if you had turned up on the original recording date, we wouldn't have had the plan to watch an episode of Charmed just to laugh at it when
disrespect.
You know,
so
it's your fault.
We need to explain slightly. Basically, we were due to record this about 4 days ago, and Troy's internet went to hell.
Yeah, literally.
So he wasn't able to make it. So Dan, Ben, and I were sitting around, and Ben said, "You know what? I've watched an episode of Charmed just so I can shit on it." At which point I went, "You know what, Dan? You and I should watch an episode each just so we can shit on it." And that's basically how this came up.
To any Charmed fans out there, this is not me trying just to shit on your show. This is my actual genuine opinion.
Well, no, I gave the episode a chance. I wanted to like it, but honestly, I couldn't.
No, you got to watch it from the beginning. Watch the struggle, the strife, the greatness.
The acting was terrible.
The greatness of the episode, the pioneering of the show.
Troy, I fell asleep 4 times, bruv.
Troy,
oh my gosh.
I watched an episode that was near the beginning of season 3, and the acting was terrible. You telling me that the acting was better in the previous 2 seasons and they've just got worse?
I've seen better acting in porn.
No, don't do that to John. Don't do that.
I do have one thing to say.
Go on.
I would rather watch 8 episodes of Charmed than 8 episodes of The Watch.
Wow.
God, we found something that...
Okay, I'll take it. It's a W.
But I would also rather watch the entire back catalogue of Hollyoaks rather than watch.
No. We ain't doing that. No, wait, no.
I'd rather watch Benidorm than watch Charmed, mate, any day of the week.
I'd rather watch Crossroads than watch Charmed. Jesus.
Yeah.
I would say I'd rather watch the Gilmore Girls than Charmed, but I actually like the Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls is a good show.
What about the Golden Girls? That's pretty bad.
Don't
worry, people. Restore Charmed to its glory. Don't worry, people.
I know which golf than Charmed.
Don't worry, people. Don't worry.
So, do we have anything else, Ben?
Yeah, I just wanted to make an announcement. We've had no emails in this week, so that's cool. But first of all, would you like to do the whole spiel before, email, anything you want to say?
And shill monkey.
Well, the shill monkey. Where did the shill monkey go?
You're a boo. Dance with me, a boo. Dance with me.
Am I the shill monkey now?
Get on with it, shill monkey.
You're a boo. Let's go.
Right. So, everybody, unmarked brown envelopes, cash. No. We want you to share. Please share. Please get our name out there. Please introduce us further out there. You know people who love TV. You know people who love the shows that we like to talk about. Let them know about us. Let them know that we are good bubblegum for the brain if you have to get your dishes done, or you have to get to the gym, or if you're on your commute. Whatever it is. We're here. We're doing this all the time. There will always be new material. There will always be new stuff coming out. But yeah, please just get the name out there. If you like what we do, spread the word. Also, if I can just on a very personal thing.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
I'd like to thank anyone who went to check out the music that I'd said before, because I've had a real influx of listens and views over the different platforms. So that's been really nice. Thank you very much.
You deserve it, man. You deserve it.
Tom,
Wow.
email.
What's the point, man? Nobody ever sends anything to our email. All right.
You're
straight
the
up.
email monkey. Just hit your spot. It's like the New Age Outlaws. Get your spot. Get your line in.
Yo, man, dance, monkey, dance.
Please email us on squareeyesyndrome2020@gmail.com.
They will give him something to do besides play with himself.
Oh my god.
Wow. Sorry, Tom.
Multitask, man.
Hey, no, Tom hasn't been watching Eurotrash this week. You have.
Well, you do have man boobs, so that's okay. So
Oh my
let's not-
wow. Wow.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I do apologize, Tom. I do
Tom's just quiet now. Silence.
Next week, we're replacing Ben with Lolo Ferrari.
I don't even know who that is. Right, so I'm sure I should know that person, but I'm so out of touch with what's going on.
That's from Eurotrash. That's the really big boobed one from Euro.
Okay, that is a marking quality right up there. That will get us subs. Maybe I should just ask him to swap. I do Eurotrash. He comes and does the podcast. Right. Okay. In a couple of weeks, we are doing a Japanese television special, so we will announce it next week, closer to the time. We're so close to that one. I'm very excited. We've got a very special guest for that one.
Banzai!
I wonder what Tom will pick, because Tom will surprise me. I'm interested in what Tom's going to bring, because I don't even know if he's watched a lot of Japanese television, so that will be interesting.
Hell no.
I think he'll surprise you.
You took my pick for the Japanese television shows today, mate.
Oh boy.
No, I'm joking. I have actually made an effort to try and go out and look for Japanese TV.
Okay. I'm interested to see what you bring. Okay, so it's goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And yeah, don't get your dick caught in any windows.
Or in a zipper. Right. Or in anything, a door. Oh, I'm going to kill this. This is
Stay charmed, people, by the way. Stay charmed.
Yeah, just tuck it in before you zip it. Done. Right, bye. Right, set this thing on fire.